Let's walk on the wise path.
Imagine waking up tomorrow with the ability to rewrite your entire life story. All those moments you regret, poof, gone. Every missed opportunity, suddenly within your grasp. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi blockbuster, doesn't it? But what if this idea isn't just fiction? What if the universe itself holds a hidden record of everything that's ever happened and everything that could happen? And what if you could tap into that record, not just to understand your past, but to reshape your future? This isn't some far-fetched fantasy. Throughout history, mystics, philosophers, and even scientists have hinted at the existence of something extraordinary, a universal library of sorts, where every thought, emotion, and action is stored forever. They call it the Akashic Records, a term rooted in ancient Sanskrit that translates to ether or subtle space. It's said to be the energetic blueprint of the universe itself, an eternal archive of everything that has ever been or ever will be. Here's the kicker. While the idea of accessing these records might sound empowering, it also comes with a warning. If you don't take control of your own story, reality might just rewrite you. You see, life isn't a static series of events. It's fluid, constantly shifting based on your choices, thoughts, and beliefs. And if you're not consciously steering the ship, someone or something else might be. So why should you care about this? Because understanding the concept of cosmic records isn't just about curiosity, it's about taking charge of your destiny. Whether you believe in them literally or see them as a metaphor for the human experience, they represent the ultimate reminder of our creative potential. You're not a passive passenger in life. You're the author of your own story. Over the next few minutes, we'll dive deep into what these records are, how they might work, and most importantly, how you can use this knowledge to transform your life. We'll explore the inspiring potential and the unsettling implications of rewriting reality itself. Because at the end of the day, the power to shape your story is in your hands. So, are you ready to turn the page? Let's begin. What are cosmic records? All right, let's break this down. What are these so-called cosmic records? And why do people talk about them with such reverence and mystery? Imagine a massive, invisible hard drive floating in the ether, meticulously recording everything that happens in the universe. Every thought, every decision, every emotion, it's all there, stored forever like a cosmic diary. Sounds mind-blowing, right? This concept is what we call the Akashic Records. The idea comes from ancient Sanskrit teachings. The word Akasha means ether or space, not the kind you see between stars, but a subtle, energetic field that permeates everything. Mystics and philosophers from various traditions believe this field acts as a universal memory, where every human experience leaves an energetic imprint. Think of it as the ultimate archive, containing not just your personal story, but the collective history of the entire universe. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. These records aren't static. They're said to be dynamic and interactive, meaning they don't just store the past, they also contain potential futures. Imagine flipping through the pages of your life's book and seeing alternate endings. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure story, but on a cosmic scale. Many spiritual traditions describe the Akashic Records as a source of infinite wisdom. They're not just a repository of information, they're a reflection of the interconnectedness of all things. In this sense, they're more than a record, they're a reminder of the profound oneness that binds us all. Every thought you have, every action you take, creates ripples in this field, influencing not just your own life, but the greater web of existence. So why does this matter? Because understanding the existence of these records can fundamentally shift how you see yourself and the world. You're not just a passive observer in the story of your life. You're an active participant, constantly creating and recreating reality. And if you can learn to access and interact with these records, you might just unlock the ability to rewrite your story. Imagine breaking free from old patterns, healing past wounds, and stepping into a future you consciously design. The possibilities are as limitless as the records themselves. Can you access these records? Now that we know what the Akashic Records are, let's tackle the big question. Can you actually access them? The short answer, according to many spiritual traditions, is yes. But before you imagine a magical key or some secret password, let's get one thing straight. This isn't about hacking into a cosmic computer. Accessing the records is said to require a shift in consciousness, a deep alignment with your inner self, and often a lot of practice. So, how do people claim to tap into this universal database? One common method is through meditation. By quieting the mind and entering a state of deep focus, practitioners say they can tune into the subtle vibrations of the Akashic Records. It's not about seeing or hearing things in the conventional sense. It's more like an intuitive download images, feelings, or insights that seem to come from a higher plane. Guided visualization is another popular technique. Imagine yourself walking into a grand library with infinite rows of books stretching as far as the eye can see. In this visualization, each book represents a life yours, mine, and everyone else's. By opening your book, you might gain access to insights about your life's journey, your challenges, and even your soul's purpose. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Some people claim that accessing these records isn't just about understanding your past, it's about rewriting it. Let's say you've experienced trauma or heartbreak. By revisiting these moments through the Akashic Records, believers say you can change the emotional imprint they've left on you. It's not that you erase the event itself, but you transform the way it influences your present and future. Skeptical? That's fair. After all, these practices aren't exactly backed by mainstream science. But countless individuals who've explored the records report profound personal transformations. They say it's like peeling back the layers of your psyche and uncovering truths that were hiding in plain sight. Whether you view this as a spiritual awakening or simply a powerful form of introspection, the results speak for themselves. The real question is, are you willing to give it a try? Because if the Akashic Records are even remotely real, they could hold the keys to unlocking a version of yourself you never knew existed. And if that's not worth exploring, what is? The science behind the mystery. Science and spirituality don't always play nice together, but when it comes to the Akashic Records, there is a surprising amount of overlap. While mainstream science hasn't fully embraced the concept, some cutting-edge theories in quantum physics might just point to its possibility. Let's dig into the science behind the mystery. First, consider the field of quantum mechanics. This branch of physics has already shown us that reality isn't as straightforward as we once thought. Take the concept of non-locality, for example. Particles can influence each other instantly, even when separated by vast distances. It's as if there's an invisible web connecting everything in the universe. Sound familiar? This interconnectedness is strikingly similar to the idea of the Akashic Records. Physicist David Bohm took this a step further with his theory of the implicate order. Bohm suggested that the visible world is just the surface of a much deeper reality, a hidden order where everything is interconnected. It's like looking at the ripples on a pond and realizing they're caused by something beneath the surface. Could this deeper order be the Akashic Records? Bohm didn't explicitly say so, but his ideas certainly align with the concept. Then there's Rupert Sheldrake, a biologist who proposed the theory of morphogenetic fields. According to Sheldrake, living organisms are influenced by a kind of collective memory, a field that stores information about the behaviors and characteristics of a species. If a group of birds learns a new skill, for example, that knowledge might become accessible to others through this field. It's a controversial idea, but it raises an interesting question. Could the Akashic Records be a universal version of this field, connecting not just species, but all of existence? Of course, these theories are still on the fringes of mainstream science, and many skeptics dismiss them as speculative at best. But let's not forget, science has a history of catching up to ideas that were once considered out there. Remember when the idea of the Earth orbiting the Sun was ridiculed? Or when the concept of atoms seemed like pure fantasy. Today, those ideas are the foundation of modern science. So while we don't yet have hard evidence for the Akashic Records, the theories of Bohm, Sheldrake, and others suggest that the idea isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. At the very least, they challenge us to think bigger about the nature of reality and our place within it. After all, if everything truly is connected, who's to say what's possible? The power of rewriting reality. Now that we've explored what the Akashic Records are and the theories that might support them, let's dive into their most fascinating potential, the power to rewrite reality. Think about it. What if you could go back and reframe your past, not by changing the events themselves, but by transforming the emotional and mental imprints they've left on you? It's like editing your own movie, not to delete scenes, but to shift the narrative and redefine what those moments mean to you. Let's break this down. We all carry baggage, don't we? Old regrets, past mistakes, and unresolved traumas weigh us down like anchors, keeping us stuck in patterns we desperately want to break. These patterns, whether they're toxic relationships, self-doubt, or fear of failure, are often rooted in our subconscious, shaped by experiences we may not even fully understand. And this is where the Akashic Records come in. Believers argue that by accessing these records, you can revisit those pivotal moments and see them from a higher perspective. Imagine looking at a painful breakup or a career failure and understanding it as a necessary step in your growth rather than a defeat. It's not about erasing what happened. It's about changing the story you tell yourself about it. And when you change the story, you change the energy that story carries into your future. This process is often likened to reprogramming your mind. Think of your thoughts and emotions as software running on the hardware of your brain and body. If your software is full of glitches like limiting beliefs or negative self-talk, it's going to produce unwanted results. But when you rewrite that software, you start seeing different outcomes. It's like upgrading from an outdated operating system to the latest and greatest version of you. What's even more intriguing is the idea that this power doesn't just apply to your personal life. It could extend to the collective reality as well. Imagine entire communities or even societies breaking free from cycles of conflict, oppression, or fear by collectively rewriting their narratives. The ripple effects would be profound, potentially transforming humanity on a scale we can barely imagine. So, the question isn't whether rewriting reality is possible, it's whether you're willing to try. Are you ready to look at your past with new eyes, to reframe your present, and to step boldly into the future you want to create? Because if the Akashic Records teach us anything, it's that the power to change is already within you, the dark side of the records. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility. While the idea of accessing the Akashic Records and rewriting your reality is undeniably exciting, it's also a bit unnerving. Why? Because if these records truly exist, they represent not just a tool for personal growth, but also a potential weapon. And like any powerful tool, they could be misused. Let's start with the conspiracies. For centuries, secret societies like the Freemasons and Rosicrucians have been accused of wielding esoteric knowledge to manipulate the world. Some claim these groups have found ways to access the Akashic Records, using them to influence history and maintain their control over society. Imagine having access to the ultimate cheat code for life knowledge of past mistakes, present dynamics, and future possibilities. In the wrong hands, this could be incredibly dangerous. Even if you dismiss these theories as pure speculation, the ethical questions remain. Should we even attempt to rewrite reality? And if we do, where do we draw the line? Changing how you perceive your past is one thing, but what about altering collective histories or influencing future events? It's a slippery slope. What starts as a tool for healing and empowerment could easily become a means of control and manipulation. There's also the question of preparedness. Let's say you gain access to the Akashic Records and uncover truths you're not ready to handle. Maybe you see potential futures that terrify you or uncover aspects of your past that you'd rather keep buried. The human mind isn't always equipped to process such overwhelming information, and diving in unprepared could do more harm than good. And then there's the paradox of free will. If the records contain everything that has ever happened and could happen, does that mean our lives are predetermined? Or do we still have the power to choose our path? This question has puzzled philosophers and theologians for centuries, and the Akashic Records only add fuel to the fire. Are we truly the authors of our lives, or are we just characters following a script that's already been written? The dark side of the Akashic Records isn't just about conspiracies or ethical dilemmas. It's about the profound responsibility that comes with knowledge. If you're going to step into the role of a reality rewriter, you need to ask yourself, are you ready for the consequences? Because once you open that door, there's no going back. How to rewrite reality. If you're still with me, chances are you're intrigued by the idea of rewriting reality. So how do you actually do it? The good news is, you don't need to be a mystic or a member of a secret society to tap into this power. All you need is an open mind, a willingness to explore, and a few practical tools to get started. The first step is meditation and reflection. Think of meditation as your gateway to the Akashic Records. By quieting your mind and tuning into the subtle energies within and around you, you can start to access deeper levels of awareness. This isn't about forcing anything, it's about allowing insights to arise naturally. Start by creating a calm, distraction-free space where you can sit comfortably, focus on your breath, and set the intention to connect with the wisdom of the records. Don't worry if it doesn't happen right away like any skill. This takes practice. Next, work on reframing your past. Take a moment to think about a painful memory or a limiting belief that's been holding you back. Now ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? How can I use this lesson to grow? For example, if you've faced rejection, see it as a sign that you are being redirected towards something better. By changing the way you interpret your past, you change the way it affects your present and future. The third step is to set clear intentions. The universe works a lot like GPS. It needs specific instructions to guide you. Vague wishes like "I want to be happy" aren't enough. Instead, be precise. I want to find a fulfilling career that aligns with my passion for helping others. Visualize this reality as if it's already happening. Feel the emotions associated with it: joy, excitement, gratitude, and let those emotions fuel your actions. Finally, remember that this isn't a one-time process. Rewriting reality is a lifelong practice, one that requires constant reflection, adjustment, and growth. But the beauty of it is, every small shift you make creates a ripple effect, transforming not just your life, but the lives of those around you. So, are you ready to pick up the pen and start rewriting your story? Because the truth is, reality isn't fixed, it's fluid, waiting for you to shape it. All you need to do is take the first step. The bigger picture. Let's zoom out for a moment. Beyond the personal benefits of rewriting your reality, what does this mean for humanity as a whole? If the Akashic Records truly exist, they offer a profound reminder of something we often forget: our interconnectedness. Every thought, every action, every emotion doesn't just affect you, it sends ripples through the entire fabric of existence. Think about it like this: if reality is a tapestry, each of us is a thread. The choices we make don't just shape our individual lives, they influence the patterns of the whole. This is why understanding and engaging with the Akashic Records matters. It's not just about personal transformation, it's about collective evolution. Imagine a world where more people embraced this mindset. Instead of blaming others for their problems or feeling trapped by their circumstances, they'd see themselves as co-creators of reality. They'd take responsibility for their actions and their energy, knowing that everything they do leaves a mark on the cosmic canvas. This shift in perspective could lead to profound changes in how we relate to each other and the planet. At the same time, the Akashic Records challenge us to think bigger about the nature of existence. If time and space are just constructs, and everything is connected in a quantum now, then the boundaries we perceive between past, present, and future, between you and me, start to dissolve. What emerges is a sense of oneness, a recognition that we're all part of the same grand design. But with this realization comes responsibility. If we have the power to rewrite reality, we also have the power to misuse it. That's why the journey into the Akashic Records isn't just about gaining knowledge, it's about cultivating wisdom. It's about understanding that true transformation starts from within, and that the most profound changes we can make aren't out there in the world, but inside ourselves. So, whether you see the Akashic Records as a literal cosmic library or simply a metaphor for the infinite potential of human consciousness, the message is clear: your reality is yours to shape. The question is, how will you choose to shape it? Will you let life happen to you? Or will you take the reins and create something extraordinary? The choice is yours, and it starts right now.